Stews. Two Live Stews.
My tweet, as I was trying to watch the Masters, my tweet said, "It's amazing to me how so many cool people in this world can be pulling and wanting this super freak to win." Tiger Woods, y'all.
Whenever Tiger Woods would make a big shot, I was amazed when they showed the gallery how many women were cheering this guy like he was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
It's like they forgot.
This is America, Jack.
It's like they forgot that he was a super freak.
It's America. And you know what?
Doug and Ryan keep dropping it.
Most of those women probably understand.
The Stews are on. Now to the ATL. Now
It's the People Show.
the People Show.
Here's your boys.
Here's your boys, the Two Live Stews.
July Stews, Doug Stewart, Ryan Stewart. Doug Stewart's out, but John Michaels is in. No matter what, it's still a Facebook Friday coming to you live from the People Studios. Phone number to the show is 888-STEWS90. That's 888-783-9790. Also text that show at 77530. We got our Facebook Friday 4 going down in the doghouse. 4 very simple questions for you to listen to and enjoy. Which lowest seeded NBA team wins their first round playoff series? Are the NBA playoffs too long? Which quarterback in the upcoming draft has the biggest chance to be a bust in the pros? And lastly, number 4 of the Facebook Friday 4 on this Facebook Friday in the doghouse with the Two Live Stews. Should Major League Baseball expand instant replay? We'll blast a phone call before we get into some postseason talk when it comes to the NBA playoffs starting tomorrow. Looking forward to the weekend. T in Huntsville. Thanks for calling Sporting News Radio. What you got?
Ryan Stewart and soon to be famous John Michaels. What's happening?
What up, T?
Hey, y'all got it. I'd like to get in on that Facebook for us, sir.
All right, man. It's very simple. Which lowest seeded NBA team wins their first round playoff series?
I think I'm going to go with Atlanta over Orlando, man. If the regular season didn't count for anything, then why we believe in so much in Chicago? Atlanta handled them during the regular season. I think they can get them during the playoffs.
That's a very good point, and that's the point that I want to write down so John and I can get into that next. Are the NBA playoffs too long?
You know what, man? They are just a little bit. I love basketball, but the first round I think should be 5, and they shouldn't have those long breaks in between the games, man, trying to get those prime time slots. It gets a little ridiculous.
Good call as well. Which quarterback in the upcoming draft has the biggest chance to be a bust in the pros, T?
I'm going to go with Jake Locker because Pac-10 quarterbacks have a bad track record.
Ask Joey Harrington and Achilles Smith.
And lastly, triple platinum T from Alabama. Should Major League Baseball expand instant replay?
Yeah, of course they should, man, but they like to go their old ways and their old way of thinking, so they probably won't do it.
Absolutely outstanding. You got something else for us, T?
Yes, sir. Mr. John Michaels, even with all the problems we're having at Ohio State University, you know we're still going to handle y'all next year, right?
No, you're
With
not.
that, I'm gone.
All right. We appreciate T from giving us a call from Huntsville, Alabama.
He's lucky the gun's on the other side of the room. I knew there was something coming there. I figured he was going to, because he calls me sugar cane.
T's a very good call.
I love T. Now, it's something interesting he said there with the question about the NBA playoffs being too long. We talked about this a little bit during the break. A lot of people in agreement 5 games should be round 1. I think the NBA looks at this and they go, you know, I don't want the Denver Nuggets beating the Seattle Supersonics back with the Dikembe Mutombo winning 8 beats to 1.
Right.
You're not going to see that in a 7-game series. The 8 seed's not going to win 99 out of 100, probably 999 out of 1,000. They're not going to win the game. That's why the NBA does this.
In a 5-game series, it's possible.
Yeah.
If you got to win 3, it's possible.
Well, because you got to remember, you only got to win 1 on the road then, and you could win 2 at home. And you've seen a lot of times. Hawks in round 1, they win all 3 of their games here against Boston. If that was a 5-game series, do they have a chance to steal that 1? The NBA doesn't want that.
Okay, John. T also brought up a very good point while talking about which lowest seeded NBA team wins their first round playoff series. I think the Chicago Bulls will win their first round series. I mean, for Pete's sakes,
they should run through Indiana.
Exactly. Okay, the Pacers really don't mean anything to me when it comes to NBA basketball. That aside, every team and every player and every coach, their level of responsibility and their level of play heightens in the postseason.
Yep.
I don't know what makes that happen, but when you get to the postseason, there's so much more on the line. All the other teams that are nobodies, they're gone. You really got to bring your best basketball night in and night out. There's a reason why LeBron James had the best record in the NBA during the regular season 2 years in a row with the Cleveland Cavaliers. There's a reason why the Phoenix Suns, back when Amari was still there, and Sean Marion was still there, played outstanding regular season ball prior to getting to the postseason when they had those incredible runs. We can go on and on and on about what regular season teams have done to get into the postseason, but when they get there, because basketball changes,
Yep.
it becomes more important, it gets heightened, they're not the same team.
Yeah, and what that leads to, and I think I know where you're going with this,
Okay.
maybe to read your mind a little bit, but there are certain teams, and maybe the Bulls fall into this, that they are already getting everything that they can get out of guys. Joakim Noah is giving you everything he can give you. Luol Deng has had a tremendous year, and he's giving all he can give you.
He's had a bounce back year this year.
Absolutely.
He definitely has.
And that could be compared to Phoenix. Maybe they're giving all that they could give you in those years that you talked about. Maybe there's also teams that when you play on a Tuesday night in Toronto, they go, you know what? I don't have to give an A effort. And that's how you end up losing a game.
And not only that, okay, it's Toronto. I'm going to hang out tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't get over here that often. Absolutely love it over here. Going to see some shoes. They take it all off over there in Canada. I'm really going to enjoy myself. Listen, John, I love the Bulls, and I think that they'll do an outstanding job. I think that in the future, they are going to be a force to be reckoned with. I don't see it happening this year.
Me neither.
I don't think that Derrick Rose, being the team's leading scorer at the point guard position, has enough like Isaiah Thomas had when he led the team in scoring to win a championship.
You know, the difference I see with them is who is that second option? You'll say Carlos Boozer. I've seen Carlos Boozer in playoffs past, recent past, absolutely disappear in the playoffs.
Right.
Who then is their third scorer? Probably Luol Deng.
I was just about to say before you move on to Luol Deng. Yeah. Carlos Boozer did a good job winning championships when he was in Utah, having 25 and 12, 25 and 13, didn't he? No! He didn't win a championship in Utah!
Did they even get out of the first round?
No.
I saw them losing a lot of times early. Then you go to their third score. Do I trust Luol Deng's going to be a 20-point-a-game guy in the playoffs? I'm sorry, no, I don't.
Right. So I don't want to ish on him, John, but a lot of people are drinking the Chicago Bulls Kool-Aid because Derrick Rose is an amazing player.
Right.
He's the point guard, and his job is to set up and score from time to time, not set up, get dunks, score, and get steals and everything else to make his team a championship
I will
team.
say this. They will be in the Eastern Conference Finals because I think whoever they play in the second round, whether it's Atlanta or whether it's Orlando, they're better than those teams. They're not beating Boston or Miami, whichever one they play in that Eastern Final.
I don't know if it'll be an Eastern Finals team. I think that's more of a possibility than them being in the finals. But Eastern Conference Finals, I don't think that's guaranteed either.
You think Orlando or Atlanta can beat them?
I think that they had to do all they could to be the best team that they played this year. And yes, Derrick Rose won without Joakim Noah for a while. He won without Carlos Boozer for a while. But I don't think him being the featured guy, as good as he is going to be enough to get them to an Eastern championship.
Okay.
I don't think Derrick Rose and the youthfulness of this team will be enough for them to win a championship this year. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win either, and I'll give you picks later on before the program ends who I think is going to be in the finals.
Okay.
It's not going to be Chicago. That'll be my hint early on.
All right, well, before we blast some phone calls at 888-STUES90, 888-783-9790, give me a couple of first-round matchups in your eyes, John.
As far as upsets go,
Yes, sir.
First upset for me is Atlanta over Orlando. Kind of to piggyback a little bit on what T said, and I said it early in the program. I just look at Orlando. They're not the same team that they were 2 years ago. They're not the same team they were a year ago. Is Dwight Howard a monster? Absolutely. Bringing in Hedo Turkoglu hasn't proven to be a whole lot. Bringing over Jason Richardson hasn't done a whole lot. Gilbert Arenas, some days I think I can go out and score and do what Gilbert Arenas is doing right now because the injuries and the time away has really started to erode his game. I just think the Hawks have enough to take out Orlando. That looks to me like the biggest first-round upset that'll happen this year.
Two other games I want to talk to you about, Memphis and San Antonio. A lot of people giving Memphis more credit even without Rudy Gay. Spurs getting old. Look what they had to do to get where they were. Look how broke up they are right now with Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan getting all this time. No way Memphis upsets the San Antonio Spurs, do they?
No, I think they can win a couple of games, though. This might be a 6-game series. It might be one that you win the first two in San Antonio, Memphis comes back, wins the next two in Memphis, and all of a sudden San Antonio wakes up and goes, okay, we really got to get this thing going in the playoffs. Spurs will win the series. It'll be closer than anybody thinks it should be.
I really want your opinion on this last one I'm going to talk to you about before we get to a phone call.
Okay.
Knicks Celtics.
You know, this will be the first time in my entire life that I'll actually cheer for the Knicks to win a series. I think